This is the new story of the Tortoise and the Rabbit. It's about loving each other's differences to make an unbeatable team. Once upon a time, a tortoise and a rabbit decided to have a race to see who was faster. They both agreed on a route and started off the race. The rabbit shot ahead and ran briskly for some time. Then, seeing that he was far ahead of the tortoise, he thought he'd sit under a tree for some time and relax before continuing the race. He sat under a tree and soon fell asleep. The tortoise slowly overtook him and soon finished the race, emerging as the undisputed champion. The moral of the story is that slow and steady wins the race. But the story is not over yet. The rabbit realized that if he had not been overconfident to sleep during the race, there's no way the tortoise could have beaten him. So he furiously challenged the tortoise to another race. The tortoise agreed. This time, the rabbit went all out and ran without stopping from start to finish. The rabbit eventually won by several miles. The moral of the story? Fast and consistent will always beat the slow and steady. It's good to be slow and steady, but it's better to be fast and reliable. But the story does not end here. The turtle did some thinking this time, and realized that there's no way he can beat the rabbit in a race the way it was currently formatted. He thought of an idea and challenged the rabbit to another race, but on a slightly different route. The rabbit agreed. He took off and ran at top speed, in keeping with his self-made commitment to be consistently fast. However, he came to a stop because of a river that prevented him from reaching the finishing line that was a few kilometers on the other side of the river. In the meantime, the tortoise slowly moved along, got into the river, swam to the opposite bank, continued walking, and finished the race. The moral of the story? First, identify your strength and then change the playing field to suit your strength. The story still hasn't ended. The tortoise and rabbit, by this time, had become pretty good friends and they did some thinking together. Both realized that the last race could have been much better. So the tortoise and rabbit decided to do the last race again, but run as a team this time. They started off, and this time the rabbit carried the tortoise till the river bank. There, the tortoise took over and swam across with the rabbit on his back. On the opposite bank, the rabbit again carried the tortoise and they reached the finishing line together. Both the tortoise and rabbit felt a greater sense of satisfaction than they'd felt earlier. The moral of the story? It's good to be individually brilliant and to have strengths. But unless you're able to work in a team and harness each other's strengths, you'll always perform below expectation. Because there will always be situations in which you'll do poorly and someone else does well. Teamwork is mainly about loving differences and to leverage each other's differences to make an unbeatable team. This is the end of the story.